Hi, I'm Sarah and welcome to My Friend's Pets. On today's episode, we're going to be visiting my friend Kerri and her dog Delilah. I know that they're pretty excited to meet you, so let's go together. Hi Kerri, thank you so much for having us and welcome to My Friend's Pets. I'm so excited to learn a little bit more about you and Delilah. These are my TV friends that I want to introduce you to.
Hello.
Now, a little bit about yourself. What kind of things do you like doing in your spare time?
Mostly video games and reading. And I go to the park a lot with her. So.
Yeah. And what kind of things do you find fulfilling about those activities?
For reading, that's always been a passion of mine. I work at a bookstore and I want to be a writer. I am a writer, but I like to read and then also write, so that's another of the hobbies.
Makes sense.
Yeah, and then playing video games are just, especially after COVID, kind of figured out like playing online with my friends was a really great way to keep in touch and keep that community feeling without having to go see people in person.
Yeah. What do you think it means to own a pet?
I think part of the thing about owning pets for me is like you feel like they're your whole world, and they're not always, like they're not actually your whole world. You have a job, you have other people in your life, but to them, you are their whole world. So just knowing that you get to give that to something else, and as much as you love them, they definitely love you just as much.
Yeah. Do you have a memory of like knowing it was a right time to get a pet, like when you got her?
Kind of with her. I knew I wanted another dog because my last one had passed, and I had waited a couple months, and then I had started like kind of looking at adoption sites, and I'd put in like an application for a couple dogs that I didn't get. And then finally I was like, no, I need a dog. I need to have a dog in my life. The energy in my house was all wrong.
Yeah.
So I reached out, like a friend of mine had said, like, if you want a dog, like I know some people, and like people, like her daughter lives on a farm, and she was like, I will find someone who has a litter of puppies. And so we found Delilah, and I drove out to Mayerthorpe with my dad to get her off of the farm.
What was it like when you saw her for the first time?
Oh my god, she was so much smaller than I thought she would be. Like, she was probably the size of this toy, which is not very healthy looking. But she was so small, and she just, like, cuddled up in my arms. She was very scared at first. Yeah. But I think her being able to, like, sit in my arms for, like, an hour and a half really bonded her. Yeah. So she was very little. Smallest puppy I've ever had.
Hi. Yes. What would you say your favorite part is about owning a dog?
Oh, I think my favorite part of owning a dog is the energy that they bring to the house, because it is, no matter what, like you have a bad day, you have a good day, it doesn't matter, you get home, your dog's going to greet you just as happily every time. So it just kind of sets that tone back to, this is home, this is where I'm loved, and nice to feel that when you come home, to feel that warmth.
She is so lovable.
Oh, she's very needy.
How old is Delilah?
She's just over a year and a half.
Yeah.
She'll be 2 in November.
Okay. So she's still pretty young.
Still pretty young.
Yeah. Does she have any favorite toys?
She has a little soccer ball that's actually at my mom's house right now that she loves to play with in the backyard. It is half deflated.
Yep.
It was my last dog's favorite toy. He loved it, and she just absolutely adores it too. We could play ball in the backyard for forever, and she would be happy.
Yeah. I know with my dog Mina, like she has a volleyball, like an old volleyball that she had. They just like there's no air in it, but it's like if I feel like if I pumped any air in it, she'd be like, "This is not the same."
Yeah.
What is your favorite way to spend time with Delilah?
I really enjoy going for our walks at the dog park. With my last dog, he wasn't keen on being with other dogs. He didn't mind other dogs, but he didn't want to play with other dogs. He was just like, whatever, I'm gonna go say hi to all the people and get pets.
Yeah.
But I don't want to play with another dog.
Yeah.
And any dog that will play, she will play with. She absolutely loves playing with other dogs. So I walk with a big group at the dog park now. We've gotten up to, I think, 17 some days, 21 there was, I think, was our record for how many dogs we had in our group. So we're a big pack and we all walk together, and she loves having all of her friends.
Oh, I bet you. Yes, you're so friendly.
Did you fall off the couch? You want to come back up? There you go.
How would you say your life was different before you got Delilah?
I mean, I think I was in a really bad place between dogs.
Yeah.
Because Nash was my whole world, and it just felt weird to not have him around. But then it got to the point that it felt more weird to not have a dog than to not have him.
Yeah.
And then I saw her, and she is delightful and weird, but not a good place without a dog for me.
And how did you, when you brought her home, did you notice kind of like that change in you, that it kind of felt right and it felt like this is what you needed?
Yeah. It really did. I had some cats that I had to rehome because I had allergies, but I had them in between, and she was kind of raised with them in the house for a couple months, but it didn't feel the same to me, and that's not I love the cats, I still do, I still see them every now and then, but it's not the same energy. They don't give you the same love, and I think because I've spent my whole life with dogs, I think the longest I've ever gone before losing Nash was a week without a dog. So I think the 6 months without was the longest I'd ever gone without a dog, and it just did not feel right for me.
No, of course not.
It was so bizarre.
Hi. What was Delilah like when you first met her? Was there a personality change from now, then to now?
God, yeah. So when I first got her and brought her home, she was so shy. She was so timid. Yeah. Just kind of curled up in the corner and had her little puppy naps, and she would kind of play a little and follow the cats around. And now she is more often than not upside down. She tends to do headstands at the park. Yeah. And she likes to play ball. She is always energetic. Yeah.
Do you think Delilah knows when you have a bad day or a good day?
Yes, I do. I think I think dogs are just in tune with that in general. Yeah. But she's always a little bit more cuddly, wants to be right beside me. I mean, she always wants to be right beside me. Yeah. But in a less insane time to play kind of way, it's more of, okay, well, we'll just chill, and we knows kind of. She knows that I'm not feeling good and that I need her to be right beside me, kind of thing. So I think she does get it.
Yeah. So obviously I have a dog as well, and I love my dog so dearly, but does Delilah do anything that makes you frustrated?
Sometimes she's a little needy. She also, because she was raised with 2 cats in the house from she was 10 weeks when I brought her home, and I had the cats for another 6 months or so. She thinks she's a cat. She's 75 pounds, so she's not a cat. But she likes to sit up behind me on the couch, which is why all my cushions are all very, very small and squished down. And she'll rest herself on my shoulders, and not so comfy all the time. No. But it's hard to say no to her, and she's very insistent sometimes. Yeah. So Other than that, like, she kind of chewed some stuff when she was a puppy. She stopped doing that for the most part now. But other than that, yeah. It's mostly that she thinks she's a cat. She thinks she's a lot smaller than she is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, just being here, she loves being behind you.
Yes.
Like, she likes squishing in the small spaces.
She likes to be as close as she can possibly be.
Yeah, it's so cute. Yes.
The only other thing I think that would annoy me is that she loves my dad more than me.
How do you figure that? What kind of things happen?
Oh my god, the greeting he gets when she sees him or when he comes over here is like triple what I get, and I'm like, what is happening? And I think part of that is when I was starting work and stuff, going back to work with her at home for the first time. Yeah. I was really worried about her, and I didn't want to leave her alone for 8 hours. Yeah. So my dad came to check on her a couple days. Okay. Yeah. So he was like, oh, I'll only go for 15 minutes, and then he'd like text me when he was there and when he was leaving, and it would be like 2 hours. And I'm like, what are you doing? Leave my dog alone. She's going to love you more, and now she does.
Of course.
But yeah, he spent some time with her for sure when she was little, and she adores him now. So.
Oh, that's great, though.
Yeah.
What would you say your favorite thing is about Delilah?
I think her energy, because with Nash, he was very chill. He was a very laid back, very lazy dog, which really fit with me. Like, I felt really good with that. I loved being with him, and he was so cuddly all the time. Her energy, like, at first it was kind of like, okay, this is a lot, but I think it really helped to get me out of the house and make sure that I do take her for walks every day. And just get going like a little bit easier with her. So, yeah. I think her energy boosted my energy a little.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Hello. Would you say that there's any ways that Delilah has made you a better person?
I don't know. It's a hard one.
Yeah, no, it is. It's a hard question. Yeah.
I don't know if I've had her long enough for her to have changed me yet.
Yeah.
I hope so. I hope eventually, I'll see that change in myself, but it's hard to see that when I've only had her like a year and a bit. Mm-hmm.
Now, what would you say to somebody who was ever thinking about getting a dog? Like, what kind of encouragement, like, would you give your past self to go and do it?
I say do it because dogs. But definitely consider the finances.
Yes, yes.
Because I think part of the most difficult thing is when bad stuff does happen, like not being able to afford the level of care you want to give them. Yeah. But I think other than that, like, the consideration is like, is it going to make you happy? And if you've never had a dog before, that might be something like maybe have somebody else's dog for like a week and see if you like how that feels in your house, and before you kind of jump in and make that commitment. But if you've had a dog before and just get one. They're loving and wonderful. Yes. And they just really do. They make the whole house feel more like a warm place to be.
Yeah.
Are you giving hugs?
No. I can't kiss you. Thank you so much, Kerri. I learned so much about you and Delilah. I hope that we can come back next time and maybe talk to you a little bit more about owning a dog and all the things that comes along with it. But for now, I have to say goodbye. Well, that was so much fun. I'm so glad that we were able to talk to Kerri a little bit more about Delilah. I hope that you had fun, because I know I sure did. I hope you can visit next time when we visit another one of my friends on My Friend's Pets. Bye for now.